When was the last time you prayed for someone else? In 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse number 1, Paul says that prayers, supplications, intercessions, and thanksgivings should be made for all men, that is, on behalf of all people. As Christians and people who've been reformed by the will of God and conformed to the image of Christ, we need to be people who are praying for other people. This is something we need to incorporate as part of our daily prayer habits. Now, as we fill out the content here at the Minute Collective, we're going to be talking a lot about prayer and praying for other people, but we want to start today with a video about praying for your family. We want to start here because this is the people that we're closest to, the people that we care about the most, the people we're most invested in. And if we're really praying for any other people besides ourselves, it's probably going to be our family. So what we want to do is we want to build the habit of prayer for others, starting with our family, those people we spend time with, that we love, and we're closest to, and then we'll work out to incorporate prayer for all other people. The first example that we want to think about as it pertains to praying for our family is found in Genesis chapter 25, verse number 21. Here we read that Isaac prayed for his wife, Rebekah. And if we look at the context, why did he pray for her? Well, the reason was that they were unable to have children. She was unable to have a child. Now, if you're someone who's walked through infertility or you've had family members that have done that, you know it's heartbreaking. It's difficult. It's stressful, and there's a lot of emotions that go into that very difficult scenario. And so if that's you, I just want to let you know my heart goes out to you in caring for you about that. What Isaac did here was he did the one thing he was able to do. He was able to take his griefs and his cares and his wife's griefs and cares before the throne of God. And so maybe you're walking through that scenario. Maybe you're walking through a different scenario of someone who's had cancer or a stroke or another long-term illness. You can pray for your family in this way. You can pray for them to be physically healed. You can pray for them to be a light of the gospel. You can pray for the doctors, nurses, and all the people who are surrounding them so the love of Christ might be manifested through them and the glory of God might be known through this illness, that whether they're healed or not, God's greatness might be proclaimed. The next example we want to think about of someone praying for their family is in 1 Chronicles chapter 21. Here in this passage, David is on his deathbed, and he prays to God for his son Solomon. He prays that Solomon might have a full and loyal heart to serve Jehovah God. He prays for him that he might be a blessing to the world. Notice here, David is praying on behalf of Solomon's spiritual health. He's praying on behalf of Solomon's relationship with God. Perhaps David knew that Solomon was a little bit too much like him. Maybe he saw his faults. Maybe he saw various things. But what he knew was that Solomon needed help. And he needed help from God to be more like him and to trust in him. So as we think about praying for our families, one of the best things we can do is to pray for their spiritual growth. We can pray for them to further understand the mysteries of the will of God, for them to spend more time in Bible study, for them to spend more time in prayer, maybe for their church attendance, maybe for them to believe and to understand and to obey the gospel. Whatever it is, praying for the spiritual health and development of our families is something we should take time to do. The final example that we want to look at, and to me the most powerful example to see, is in Numbers chapter 12. In this story, Moses' brother and sister, Aaron and Miriam, have come against him. They've tried to kind of usurp his authority, and the way they've done it is they've insulted his wife. They've said that you shouldn't have her and she's not right for you, and so there's all sorts of family drama going on in this story. And Miriam here has contracted leprosy because of what she's done and coming against Moses. And Moses, in verse number 13, prays to God for Miriam. He prays that she would be healed. Now think about that for a second. Moses is in the middle of a family fight, a family drama, a family difficulty. And instead of Moses crossing his arms and saying, "No, I'm not going to pray for you," instead he still has genuine concern for his sister. And he seeks to restore that relationship by praying for her and interceding for her. Many times whenever there's family strife, when there's family drama, when there's fighting going on, we don't need to escalate. We need to stop. We need to pause what we're doing, and we need to pray. And we need to pray on behalf for someone else's good, not to pray for them that they might be more like we think they should be, that they should be easier for us to handle, but we should pray that they could be healed and that they could be blessed. Thanks so much for watching this video from the Mended Collective on how to pray for your family. As we fill out the content on this channel, check back for more information on prayer and other spiritual disciplines, how you can develop and grow as a Christian. If you get a second, go comment below something you've prayed for your family, or one of your prayers for your children or your spouse or your parents or something like that. We'd love to hear some of the great ways that God's using prayer in your life. Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to make sure you don't miss any videos from the Mended Collective. Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to add about the subject? If you do, leave those comments along with suggestions for future content. Thanks again.